There are players who follow the system, and then there are players who bend the game to their will. From the blacktops of New Jersey to the brightest lights in basketball, the journey of Kyrie Irving is anything but ordinary. They said his game didn't make sense, that it was too unpredictable, too different, but that was the entire point.
I don't even describe myself as an athlete.
When I describe myself as an artist, it just gives me an opportunity to do whatever I want.
In a game often reduced to numbers, he's been called a magician with the ball, and arguably the most skilled player ever.
He's the most gifted player the NBA has ever seen.
The maestro when it comes to the basketball.
He's just a creator out there. You can tell he sees stuff, work on it, and then implement it, and it's powerful to watch.
However, behind the mind-bending handles and clutch shots lies a story layered with sacrifice, controversy, and pursuit of something greater than the game itself.
My motivation has been consistent since I started playing basketball. There's a purpose that I lace up these shoes for, and it's bigger than me.
Kyrie went from a prodigy with limitless potential to an NBA champion who delivered on the biggest stage to one of the most polarizing and unorthodox figures the sport has ever seen. A story of brilliance, belief, and a mind that refused to conform. This is the story of Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving was born on March 23, 1992 in Melbourne, Australia. His father, Piotrekz Irving, was a professional basketball player, which meant the game was already in Kyrie's blood.
My dad, like everyone always says it, but he did put the ball in the crib and develop my skills, but the love, that came from within.
You know, if you could just imagine an 18-month-old just dribbling around with right hand and left hand, and
you know, all the kids would be running around in the park, and my dad would be driving to his games, and I'd be like probably the only kid, and like their basketball hoops, their fountains, you know, like all the kids are going crazy in this park. And I'm just sitting there on the sideline, like sitting on my ball, watching my dad play.
Following a dominant 4-year stint at Boston University that led to his number 11 jersey being retired, Piotrekz went on to play professional basketball in Australia.
I only had one hero. He's still my hero today. It's my father. He was my favorite player growing up.
My dad was playing professionally over there for the Bulleen Boomers. Him and my mom got it on over there, and then I was born.
But that career came to an end when Kyrie was just 2 years old. The Irving family then returned home to New Jersey, where Kyrie continued developing his love for basketball, a passion that grew even deeper thanks to his godfather, Rod Strickland, a veteran who played in the NBA for 17 years.
The neighborhood that we lived in, it was Society Hill, but we were pretty much next to the hood. And then my dad moved us to West Orange.
And then he used to tell me about my Uncle Rod, but he didn't really explain to me how good my Uncle Rod was. Like, he was nice. A bad dude.
You look at Kyrie, I think a lot of that is imagination. You gotta have a certain imagination. If you listen to him talk, that's different.
Having him as my godfather, I always had somebody to look up to, but my father was always the one that was working with me on my skills at home.
When Kyrie was just 4 years old, his mother, Elizabeth, passed away due to an illness.
When he was explaining that to us, I still remember that day like it was yesterday, man. 4 years old, and I still had this memory. He's sitting us like, your mom, this happened. This is what our life is gonna look like now. I just wanna let you know that you guys can talk to me about anything.
Raised by his father and a tight-knit family, Kyrie found comfort and purpose in basketball.
Basketball wasn't just a sport that I wanted to be professional in, it was an outlet for my pain. We got the court outside, and I'm just picking up the basketball, going back and forth, doing what I'm used to be doing. I'm like, yo, all right, Dad, when's the rim gonna be up? When's the hoop? When the real stuff about to pop off? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, nah, when you gonna put up the hoop? He's like, no, when are we gonna put up the hoop? Directions on the floor, it's bolts, all his screws everywhere. He got the toolbox out. The rim is just the base.
And he was teaching me how to put something together first before I just came outside and started hooping on the basket.
Mm-hmm. I literally was handcrafting with him and put the net up, and then once the net went up, it was on.
In their brown roof house in West Orange, Kyrie made a huge promise to himself, writing on the wall of his wardrobe, "I'm going to the NBA." And unlike most kids, he meant it.
4th grade, I went in my closet, I said, I am going to the NBA.
When I was growing up, I wanted to be in the NBA, and I wanted to be the best, and I wanted to be part of this league, and I just worked my butt off. Well, I played all the time. Winter, fall, summer, spring, every single day.
Anything you invoke with I am after it, the power of manifestation and what can happen in the universe comes true. So in 4th grade.
As Kyrie grew into a 4th grader, he became even more obsessed with the game. He was either outside hooping with his father or inside studying basketball, trying to learn the secrets of the players he idolized.
then I would be in my house, dedicating myself to watching greatness. You know, that's Kobe, Bron, MJ, studying guys that are in the older generation have done before me, so I want to be just like them.
Irving was born left-handed, but because he attended a strict Catholic school, teachers forced him to do everything with his right hand. By forcing him to be orthodox, his teachers unintentionally did Kyrie the biggest favor.
Literally, I was getting slapped on the hand for writing with my left hand. Yeah, that was old school.
Are you ambidextrous?
Yeah, both sides of my brain are unlocked if you're asking. Yeah.
By the time Kyrie reached high school, his skill set was already different, but his road to the NBA wasn't completely straightforward.
I was in the midst of changing schools, so my dad, you know, he was just really like, you gotta make a decision, you have to make a decision. I'm like, Dad, like, I'm gonna make the decision when I'm ready. He was like, you're not taking this serious enough. Yeah. And I'm like, Dad, it's just basketball. He's like, what are you talking about? You want this to be your life and you wanna do this? And I'm like, Dad, you don't really love it. And I was like, maybe I just don't.
There was one big problem, his size. Kyrie was a super skinny, scrawny kid. He also played for Montclair Kimberly Academy in the lowest division in New Jersey. Despite growing to 5'10" as a sophomore and averaging 29 points per game, almost nobody knew who he was.
When I was at Montclair Kimberly, I was getting 30, you know, almost 38 and 8, you know, but we're losing. Yeah. I'm not getting the recognition I felt like I deserved.
To elevate his game, he transferred to St. Patrick High School, one of the top basketball programs in the US. When he arrived as a teenager, the basketball team circled around Kyrie and the coach as he introduced the new player. He didn't have facial hair, had a big head. He just looked like a squirrel. We called him Squirrel Boy, said one of his teammates. However, that's where everything clicked.
Right when I transferred to St. Pat's, they put me right in the top 100 kids in the nation. And then I went from like 82 to like 40 something, and then I went like 14, then I went to 4, and then I was in the top 3.
My junior year of high school, I started to get better and just tried to hone my game every chance I got. Played on the outside courts, I played almost everywhere and played against anybody, and that's probably why I have the fearless attitude I have.
Kyrie wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the fastest, but his control of the ball and the pace of the game made him nearly impossible to guard.
When I transferred to St. Pat's, I ended up losing 6 games in 2 years, and then we didn't even play in the state tournament. This is one of the craziest stories ever. They hired a private investigator to come to our gym, and they videotaped us practicing with our head coach. Like, our head coach isn't allowed to be there at our practices. Every school does it, but so we couldn't participate in the state tournament.
By the end of his high school career, Irving was high school All-American, co-MVP of the Jordan Brand Classic tournament, and was unanimously ranked as a top 5 high school player in the country. He was ready to take the next step toward his lifelong dream.
When I was about 17, 18 years old, I knew I had a chance to make it to the NBA.
Kyrie was wanted by every major university, but he accepted the scholarship from Duke and legendary coach Mike Krzyzewski. Critics labeled the prospect overrated, arguing that his 6'2" frame and limited athleticism would make it difficult for him to finish at the rim in the NBA. Others claimed his flashy ball handling would only get him into trouble at the next level. However, from his very first college game, it was clear he was NBA ready.
You know, you had those preseason scrimmages and pickup games. And from the first pickup game, I was like, yeah, he number 1 pick. He's got a different... It's cold, huh? Yeah, he got a different level from everybody else that was there at the time, so.
Kyrie averaged 17 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, and joined the 50, 40, and 90 club.
And I was dogging. I was like, he pulled me aside after I think game 3 or something like that in the season. He said, look, go for it. Like, lead our team.
Unfortunately, a toe injury sidelined him for most of the season. He came back healthy for March Madness, where Duke lost to Arizona in the Sweet 16.
I didn't have to come back, and I'm like, I want to come back for the team, and coach gave me that chance. Like, I'm still rolling with you. Like,
despite playing in just 11 college games, it was enough for everybody to see that this kid was the most talented young player in the country. And just like that, Kyrie was off to the NBA.
Do you want to go to Cleveland? Is that your hope?
Right now, I just want to go to any organization that wants me. You know, right now I'm just working hard every day in the gym, and when I do work out for the team privately, then I'm just going to give it my all and just show the type of player that I am.
I had imagined all of this happening, but I didn't know exactly what it was looking like, and it was just so many bright lights, cameras, and all that stuff, and media.
Hey, man, 5 minutes takes forever.
With the first pick in the 2011 NBA Draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Kyrie Irving from Duke University.
Immediately after the draft, Irving reached out to famous trainer Micah Lancaster, who pushed his ball handling to its limits. Lancaster forced Kyrie to keep his dribble tight, which made his handles even more shifty. They worked on his footwork, balance, and decision-making.
I figured out that I'm more effective with both my hands working simultaneously and my feet working simultaneously than just being able to just move somebody with my shoulders, with my head, with my eyes.
Because Cleveland's previous superstar, LeBron James, had just left the franchise to pursue championships with the Miami Heat, enormous expectations were placed on Irving's shoulders.
I was watching the 30 for 30 on a decision. A year later, I was drafted. The prodigal son, chosen one, has left, and here we have this 19-year-old kid. I'm 6'2", I'm not jumping out of the gym.
So they were like, oh, are you gonna fill his shoes, and how are you gonna make us better?
And so when I took on that pressure and as my own, I started feeling like I gotta bring Cleveland back to the promised land. That was a solo act.
And from day one, Kyrie lived up to the hype. The incredible ball handling skills he developed in New York and New Jersey were on full display. It didn't matter what the defense tried to do because something about his dribbling was completely different from any ordinary NBA player. Against the Boston Celtics, Kyrie spun through 2 defenders and finished an insanely difficult game-winning left-handed layup.
Spins in traffic and gets a layup with 2.6 on the clock.
Then, against the Denver Nuggets, he once again carried the Cavaliers to victory with another acrobatic layup.
He grew up playing on a rim that was missing pieces on the backboard. So that's how he learned those weird angles to twist the ball off of, because his backboard is missing.
That's crazy.
So picture going up to the rim this way, you have no backboard to finish now that somebody's on your arm. So he learned how to look forward, spin it, where it could hit the left side and go in on the right.
He was named to the 2012 Rising Stars Challenge. Irving scored 34 points in the game, going 8 of 8 from three-point range and earned MVP honors.
Well, this is a game to have fun. I enjoy myself so much with these guys. All these young guys, we're growing together. It's exciting. It's going to be exciting to see where we end up, 5 years down the line. So it's been exciting.
Most rookie guards struggle with efficiency, but Kyrie arrived as a finished product in terms of shot making. He joined Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson as one of the few rookies to average at least 18 points and 5 assists while shooting over 45% from the field. Kyrie was just 3 votes shy of becoming a unanimous Rookie of the Year.
What's next for you? What are your next goals as a player?
For me, is just to come into next season, just in even better shape and just taking my game to another level. And I'm not setting any of those goals right now, or what I can accomplish or anything like that. Like I said, those personal accolades come when you win games, and that's all it's about.
While his play on the court was serious, Kyrie's off-court brand was built on a brilliant sense of humor. Right as he was wrapping up his Rookie of the Year campaign, Pepsi released the first Uncle Drew video.
I get buckets.
Don't reach, young blood. Don't reach.
The premise was simple. Kyrie would spend hours in a makeup chair being transformed into an elderly man named Drew, go to a local park, and proceed to humiliate unsuspecting young bloods in pickup games.
Too easy out here against these young bloods.
The videos went viral instantly, racking up millions of views in a matter of days. It established Kyrie as a marketing powerhouse who understood how to connect with fans through storytelling, not just highlights. His first season in the league earned him a place on the Team USA Select team, a squad made up of young talent whose purpose was to help the Olympic team prepare for the 2012 London Games. Kyrie took part in the scrimmages, and on one play, he pulled off an incredible display of ball handling.
A famous clip of him dribbling through everybody at USA Basketball, I was right there on the court.
Bro, that play happened because we could not get the ball past half court. Because they were trapping us, they were full court trapping us, and it was crazy because Kai took it upon himself. That was after his rookie season.
During that weekend, he famously challenged Kobe Bryant to a $50,000 one-on-one bet.
Yes, this is not a high school kid coming to you. Kobe, oh my God, no. This is me going to you one-on-one. You have the guard. No, you have the guard. You're not going to lock me up. You're not going to lock me up.
He challenged me to a one-on-one game. I said, all right, well, put 500 on it. He's like, oh yeah, you start going over to his back. Said, no, not dollars, bro. You want to sit here and talk that talk, put some real money on the line then, and let's see.
He said that he wants to bet me 50 grand. He's walking out right now.
50 grand in my charity, greatly appreciated. Hey. Easy money. Easy money. Easy money.
It showed he wasn't afraid of the league's hierarchy. Even as a rookie, he walked with the swagger of a veteran.
Kyrie's great, man. He's very quick. I hadn't seen him play because in Duke, I was teasing him the other day. I told him, Duke, you only played 2 games. And in Cleveland, we play you guys well by 30 at the end of the first quarter, so I don't get a chance to see you. You know what I mean? So I was kind of ribbing him a little bit, but he's been extremely impressive here at camp.
He knew that I was going to be competitive, but I was just ultra curious and humble to sit with him, to be able to ask him pressing questions about mentally, spiritually, physically, how did you get to be who you are?
Challenged me to a one-on-one game, so either he's confident or crazy. It's one or the other.
Kyrie Irving's sophomore season was more than just a statistical jump. It was the year he graduated from promising rookie to a bona fide cultural phenomenon.
To be known as a great player, you're going to have to do it on a consistent basis, and that's not pertaining, specifically on the court, but off the court as well. I got to take reins of myself first and then of this team. And, I had to lead by example this summer, work my tail off to be ready for this season, and, I'm ready now.
Kyrie spent the year proving that while the Cavs might not be winning a ring yet, they definitely had the most entertaining player on the planet.
Cavs with a chance, gotta hurry though. Kyrie knows the clock, sends it. Got it, Kyrie Irving!
In a matchup against the Lakers, Kyrie went toe-to-toe with his idol, Kobe Bryant.
Ooh. Kyrie split the defense, gets inside, right down Euclid.
I bet you tonight, every time he gets the ball one-on-one with Kyrie, he's gonna go after him.
Kyrie rises for 3. The bottom!
Kyrie Irving!
Now Kobe Bryant matched up with Irving, sends it over and scores.
He finished with 35 points. The Mamba gave Kyrie the ultimate sign of respect by defending him personally in the closing minutes.
Behind the back, couldn't shake him. Bryant still an all-world defender and he blocked it!
In the game against the Knicks, wearing a black protective mask, Kyrie dropped a new career-high 41 points, becoming the youngest player ever to do so.
Fires up a 3 and puts it in. Irving nails the three-pointer and it's back to 6. Irving again, another three-pointer from Kyrie Irving.
But Kyrie's one of the only people, he'll let you play. He'd rather play defense on offense. He starts his point of attack, and he lets you dictate how this is gonna go. Yep.
Then, against the Raptors, he took the ball up the court and drained a game-winning three-pointer.
Sizing up Anderson, long 3. The bottom! Kyrie Irving! I cannot believe you've done it again!
Kyrie increased his scoring average to 22.5 points, earning his first All-Star selection. He won the three-point contest, and he also played in the Rising Stars Challenge, scoring 32 points.
The move, puts the shot up, got it. Kyrie Irving.
However, the Cavaliers were still failing as a team with a horrendous 24-55 record, and the front office was about to make major changes. First, Mike Brown, who had previously coached the team for 5 years, was rehired. Alongside him came Phil Handy, a renowned skill development coach who had worked with Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers over the previous seasons. That hiring changed Irving's life forever.
This season coming in, being my 3rd year, I'm excited because, I've learned from it. I've grown from it, and, now I'm ready to be the best point guard in this league now. And that's on both ends of the floor, challenging everybody.
Coach Handy quickly noticed something missing from Kyrie's game. While Irving worked incredibly hard, he wasn't truly focused on mastering his craft. Instead, he was more interested in simply playing one-on-one. But when Handy tried to bring this up to the young star, he was ignored.
Kai was slippery, bruh. He was, he was slippery. When I first got to Cleveland, man, Kai tried to hit me with the bat phone number and, not answer the calls. He was slippery. I did one workout with Kyrie and then he disappeared, right? Gave me some number that he never checked.
So Coach Handy called someone he knew could force change in Irving, Kobe Bryant.
I knew he respected Kobe, and Kobe really liked his game. And so I just hit Kobe one day. I said, look, man, I need you to mentor this kid. And he was like, bet, I got you. I like him. And they went off to the races. And it just, you saw a mind shift.
That's dope.
You saw a shift. Kobe really took him in, and Kai, man, just bought into the work. That changed his whole approach to the game and just understand how to take care of his body, right? Off the court, being in the weight room, taking care of it so he doesn't be as injured as much. He just took it to a whole nother level.
A 5-time champion and one of the greatest players ever, had experienced everything during his 17-year NBA career. Under the guidance of his new mentor, Kyrie had the best season of his young career.
For the Cavaliers, trying to get it on a Kyrie. Here comes Kyrie going to the horn. Scores! 0.6 to go! Absolutely! Third time is a charm!
Kyrie recorded 3 40-point performances and helped push Cleveland toward more victories with his insane offensive production.
Kyrie sizing up Westbrook. Fires a long one. Oh, the bottom! Video game again! Kyrie Irving! Timeout! Thunder!
He proved he belonged among the elite, recording 31 points and 14 assists to win All-Star Game MVP. Still, doubts remained. Cleveland won only 33 games, leading many to question whether Kyrie could actually lead a team by himself.
Because being a young player, when you're on a team that's not winning a lot of games, there's a lot of bad habits that form, and that's what ended up happening to me when I was very young. I had a lot of bad habits. I was not a winner. I was not a loser. Like, I take my accountability. I had a lot of bad habits as a young player, and that came from losing games and just trying to get buckets all the time.
Over the summer, Kyrie suited up to play at the 2014 FIBA World Cup. Team USA won the gold medal, and Kyrie was named MVP of the tournament.
This feels amazing. This is one of the greatest feelings that I've ever felt. All the emotions haven't come to me yet, but being a part of USA basketball allowed me to do that and build relationships that will last a lifetime. So this is great to win a gold medal with all these great guys.
But despite all the individual success, one thing was still missing: winning. The Cleveland Cavaliers were a mess, and Irving wasn't even close to reaching the playoffs. Then everything changed because of one man: LeBron James. The Cavs also used their third #1 pick in 4 years to trade for Minnesota Timberwolves power forward Kevin Love.
I told him, I was like, bro, they offered me this. That's what I'm assigned for. I'm here. Let's do it. And then probably about a week later, Bron comes back.
I had no idea, man. I found out that Bron was coming back like the rest of you guys in the world. I had no inclination. I had no time to prepare. It's not that it was on my bingo card, like, hey, I'm going to spend my career playing with Bron. Like, I had no idea, guys.
However, the beginning of the new Big Three wasn't that seamless. After a 6-game losing streak in January, they finally clicked.
Behind the back. Which way did he go? Bruising ankles, and he goes for 3.
Kyrie and LeBron led the Cavs on a 12-game winning streak to bring them back into contention.
When me and him clicked in 2015, I had one of my best years. I was all NBA third team. Shot a high percentage from the field. We were going back and forth with a 1-2, punch, and then we had K-Love.
During the streak, Irving averaged 25 points per game, including a career-high 55 points against the Portland Trail Blazers. He hit 11 three-pointers, including the game-winning triple.
And it's hard to make Bron look small, but like the things that he would do is like, you would think Bron was on the bench. The way he's scoring, the way he's just like going nuts.
Here he goes. Irving for 3.
As the season progressed, Kyrie showed that while LeBron was clearly the focal point, he was more than capable of taking over games himself.
Mobley on the ball, and Leonard. Kyrie, a 3. Good! He got it at the buzzer! Wow. They'll check it out!
Just as he did in a matchup against the San Antonio Spurs, where he scored a new career-high 57 points.
We played a San Antonio game. He had 55 on Tony Parker. Oh my God, I forgot Bron was on the court, literally. Just not a young dude, but like just a little dude who's 6'1", but like scoring effortlessly. Left hand, right hand, mid-range, pull-up, free throws, threes. I'm like, that was amazing.
Each club has a 20-second timeout left. Shot clock down to 5. The crossover by Irving. Here's the shot off glass. Kyrie Irving.
Heading into the playoffs, Cleveland knew that they had a shot at something special with their new team. But just 4 games into the postseason, a disaster struck. Kevin Love left the court just a few minutes into the first quarter of Game 4 after getting tangled up with Kelly Olynyk. A dislocated shoulder would require surgery for Love, and he would miss the rest of the postseason. In the second round, the Cavs were heavily tested by the Chicago Bulls as they found themselves trailing the series 2-1.
Irving with a series of moves and scores! Unbelievable!
No way!
Cleveland ultimately won 3 straight games, but Kyrie suffered a serious foot injury. Despite playing on essentially one foot, Kyrie somehow delivered a crucial 25-point performance in Game 5. But things continued trending downward. Although the Cavaliers advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals, Irving was forced to miss games 2 and 3 against the Atlanta Hawks because of left knee tendonitis. Still, LeBron led the Cavaliers to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2007. Their opponents, the Golden State Warriors, led by MVP Stephen Curry, lost just 3 games on their way to the finals. Kyrie was available to play in Game 1 after all his knee issues.
Going into the finals, I had, about 10 days before the finals, I felt as good as I had during the playoffs. I was hobbling in the Atlanta series, and I came into the finals. I was ready to go.
He scored 23 points, including a clutch block on Curry that would help take this game into overtime. But in overtime, those knee issues came back to haunt Irving. Kyrie collided knees with Klay Thompson. He immediately collapsed and was taken to the locker room.
One play, boom. Klay Thompson hits me in the right spot at the right time, and then my knee just fractured.
All I know is that your body works in mysterious ways, and when something gives out, and your right hip, then it leads to your left knee, and I don't know exactly what happened, but it's a little different than another time.
Kyrie was ruled out for the rest of the series with a fractured left kneecap that required surgery. There was nothing the Cavs could do without the injured Love and Irving, and the championship went to Oakland.
It's a tough situation to be in, especially, in the finals at the biggest stage. Is dealing with injuries all throughout the playoffs is definitely tough, and it's a test to your will. But, for me to go out like that, fractured kneecap out 3 to 4 months, it's tough to definitely process. But, having the teammates that I have and the coaching staff and the organization I'm part of, it makes that process a lot easier.
And when the 2016 season started, Kyrie missed the first 24 games recovering from his injury. Throughout the regular season, he struggled with minor injuries, which hampered his stats. Despite Cleveland sitting on top of the conference at the time, they fired the coach David Blatt midway through the year. Once the assistant Tyronn Lue took over, it was smooth sailing. The team's chemistry massively improved, and Cleveland finished the regular season with 57 wins, enough for the top seed in the East.
Oh my goodness, and Kyrie, what a handle. Too good.
When the playoffs rolled around, Kyrie was finally healthy, which allowed him to showcase the full splendor of his talent.
He's playing a lot of love and Kyrie Irving with a beautiful off-balance shot.
The Cavs swept the Pistons and the Hawks, and then in the Eastern Conference Finals lost just 2 games against the Toronto Raptors on their way to another NBA Finals. Kyrie averaged 25 points on 48% shooting and 43% from 3.
He's different.
Yes.
You feel me? They let me guard him one-on-one with not that much help. He didn't allow bullshit. That's behind the backboard, bro. He catches it, he's tiptoeing, and shoots it over the backboard. Cash.
However, once the finals began, the 73-9 Warriors quickly set the tone and showed Cleveland that every point would have to be earned. Warriors won Game 1 and 2, but when the series got to Cleveland for Game 3, it was the Cavaliers who punched the Warriors in the mouth early, with Kyrie Irving scoring as much as the entire Golden State team in the first quarter. However, Game 4 was the closest game of the series up to that point.
Kyrie Irving, crossover, got it!
In the fourth quarter, Steph took over and the Warriors won that game. The Cavaliers were losing 3-1, a deficit that no team had ever recovered from. Even though the rest of the world believed the Cavs were toast, Kyrie, alongside LeBron James, was determined to rewrite NBA history. In Game 5, both Cavs superstars scored 41 points, but it was Irving who hit all the toughest shots, with a mesmerizing array of layups and off-balance jumpers over multiple defenders.
Irving drives past Curry, pull-up shot, he banks it in. Nearly falls, drives now, spins back, tough fall-away shot, it's good! Kyrie Irving! Irving slides inside, Thompson right with him. Irving, bank shot is good, and a foul!
It's one of the greatest performances offensively I've ever seen in the finals by Kyrie Irving.
Bron and Kyrie get going. Both Bron and Kyrie go for 40. The first time ever they go in the finals, they go for 40 apiece. I'm like, oh. I'm just thinking, having to chase Kyrie around those 7 games was exhausting.
I've never seen 2 guys play at that level
for 3 straight
games. It's the
games.
craziest thing I've ever seen. Bron and Kyrie were just on Like, we play well. They just play better.
Irving made 17 out of the 24 shots he took, including 5 out of 7 from 3, and was a game-high plus 20 in his 40 minutes on the court. It was the best game of his career. Coach Ty Lue was extremely confident they'd be coming back to Oakland for Game 7.
We won Game 5, we're in the locker room, and I had everybody in the locker room give me $200. So all the players, Mr. Gilbert, Griff, everybody give me $200. And they said, "What you doing with this money?" So I wrapped it up and actually got the video on my phone, and I put it in the ceiling and said, we're coming back for Game 7 and get our money.
The Cavs then took Game 6 at home with Kyrie scoring 23 points and forced a decisive Game 7 on the road.
How are you feeling now, and what's your status for Game 7?
I'm good.
That's all?
That's all. But this is what you live for right here. I've been watching Game 7s as a kid almost all my life, and watching a lot of great players come up big in Game 7s on both ends. And for me, we want to come out on the winning end.
The championship game was incredibly tight, and neither team could pull ahead. The two teams exchanged the lead 20 times, with 11 ties, and for virtually forever, the score remained tied at 89. Kyrie knew this was his moment.
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown! And the Cavaliers by 3. It's over! Cleveland is a city of champions once again! The Cavaliers are NBA champions!
The Cavs won their first title in franchise history, and the first for the city of Cleveland after a 52-year drought.
And for us, it was just about being resilient and coming in and taking care of business. But I mean, this is one for the books. Literally, one for the books.
Unbelievable game against an unbelievably talented team, and it was just, one for the books.
We win the championship, everybody's going crazy, and so I go in the ceiling and get the money. And so first thing Bryant asked me, like, "Hey man, where's that money?" I said, "Man, I don't know, it disappeared," but I kept it for myself.
We celebrated, but it was like, after that, I took about 2 weeks off, and I had to start getting ready for the Olympics.
Over the summer, Kyrie continued his incredible year by helping Team USA win the gold medal at the 2016 Olympics. With the win, he became just the 4th member of Team USA to capture an NBA championship and an Olympic gold medal in the same year, joining LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen. When the 2016 and 17 season started, the NBA champion responded with the best individual season of his career.
Irving steps back, knocks it down again. Irving trying to create space. Got it anyway!
Oh my goodness gracious, did you just see Kyrie Irving?
With the step through, sweet!
Irving averaged 25 points and 6 assists while proving, much like Kobe before him, that he could potentially become the #1 option on a championship team.
Here comes Irving, drives on Thompson. Irving spins, puts up the shot. It's good! Kyrie Irving with 3.4 remaining.
Kyrie Irving is the scorer that everyone thinks of Kevin Durant. Kyrie Irving, you can't do anything to make it hard on him.
Kyrie had become more of a focal point of the Cavs offense in the regular season, and he averaged 2 shots per game more than LeBron James did. But in the West, former MVP Kevin Durant shocked the basketball world by joining the Warriors, forming arguably the best team ever assembled. Still, the Cavs were about to make a dominant postseason run to compete for another NBA title.
16. Irving, oohs and ahs from the crowd, and Irving with a finish.
They managed to get to the finals basically unchallenged. Kyrie was phenomenal throughout the playoffs, and especially in the finals, averaging 29 points on 47% shooting and 42% from deep. But just as everyone expected, Cleveland lost in 5 games, and that's when the first signs of trouble started creeping in. Kyrie was tired of being considered a second option and constantly being in LeBron's shadow.
Man, I think you come to a point in your career where, you really just start taking responsibility for how you want to shape your career.
I love Cleveland, don't get me wrong. I'm appreciative of all the things that they've done for me, but at the same time, I would have loved to choose the franchise I wanted to go to. You know what I'm saying? I would have loved to develop next to some of my favorite players and some of my favorite people.
Kyrie's idol, the man he respected more than anyone besides his father, was Kobe Bryant.
We just had a different type of mentor-mentee relationship because he knew how curious I was. Not just about being great at the game, but just life.
When Irving won the 2016 championship, he came back to the locker room and he FaceTimed Kobe.
And we're watching the game, and we're sitting on the couch, and then my phone rings, and it's FaceTime call, and I'm like, I hate FaceTime calls, but it's Kyrie. I pick it up, and Kyrie's in the locker room celebrating on FaceTime, like,
your advice worked. Your advice worked, bro.
Dude, it worked. Your advice worked. You know what I mean? Like, he's completely freaking out. He's like champagne spilling all over the place.
From entering the league straight out of high school to battling Shaq for leadership of the Lakers while simultaneously dealing with off-court controversy, Kobe had seen it all. He watched Shaq get traded away, finally inherited leadership of the Lakers, then failed for a couple seasons before maturing, learning from his mistakes and winning 2 championships on his own. Kyrie wanted a team that he could truly call his own, where he could be the guy just like Kobe. So, without any warning or consultation with LeBron, he requested a trade from the Cavs.
When he first came back, I was 22, 23, so I was just a young kid trying to help Cleveland patch up their relationship with him. I got drafted the year after, so when I came in, it was like, are you gonna be better than LeBron? That was my first question when I got into Cleveland. So it was mixed emotions the whole time that we were competitors, and then when he came back as my teammate, you know what I mean? Came back to Cleveland, that's his home.
This whole situation was weird because nobody ever wanted to leave a team that made 3 straight NBA finals. But what was even weirder was Kyrie's media appearances. While he was still a member of the Cavaliers, Kyrie broke out the infamous take that he believed the earth was flat.
This is not even conspiracy.
The earth is flat.
Yeah, no, the earth is flat.
Oh, here we go.
The earth is flat.
I'm telling you, he's trolling us. I don't know. I don't get it.
A couple days later, he appeared on a radio show where he doubled down on his flat earth stance, claiming the whole thing was part of a social experiment he was conducting.
When I started doing research on my own and figuring out that there is no real picture of Earth, like there's not one picture of Earth.
Kyrie later backed down from his comments, but that was far from the end of his controversies.
But on that podcast, I was just really like, man, what's going on within our world?
My life off the court, bro, is like really about making conspiracy theories facts.
And just a whole bunch of truth and conspiracy. I was just like, whoa, this is too much for me. And then I come out and say that, and then, whoo, the reaction it got.
Cleveland didn't have to trade Kyrie since he still had 2 years left on his contract, but they didn't want to deal with an unhappy star.
I asked for a trade because I was looking for something different. I was a man of my word. When I went to the organization, I sat the higher ups down and said, look, I know y'all have future plans. Tell me right now. They told me their future plans. I said, look, this isn't for me.
So, a month after his trade request went public, in a landscape-changing deal, Kyrie became a member of the Boston Celtics.
When I asked for a trade, and everybody didn't realize I was asking for a trade from the Cleveland Cavaliers, but they were like, nah, you asking for a trade from LeBron.
That's the narrative.
So that narrative was carrying on. Now it's everything that he posts, everything I post is subliminal. Yeah. Everything that we do and everything that, we talk about is subliminal.
Wish the kid great health, and the kid wanted to do what was best for his, for his career.
It was an unbelievable journey, an unbelievable ride, but I knew that I wasn't going to come up here to specifically point at individuals, specifically point at what issues here, whatever, because that's not important to me.
Kyrie got his own team. Now he was the man, and the face of one of the NBA's biggest franchises.
The next move for him is figuring out how to get the most out of the pieces around him. That's really hard. Because Michael told me the same thing. He said, listen, you have all the individual tools. Now you got to figure out how to connect with each one of those guys and bring the best out of those guys. It's not about just passing them the ball and saying that's what makes guys better. That's not it. You have to figure out how to touch the right buttons to make them want to be the best version of themselves. How do you do that? And that's what Kyrie has to figure out.
That's what makes the game beautiful, is the individuality that we all have as talented players, and then how we incorporate it as a collective group. And then as the point guard, I have to figure out what best suits not only for Coach Stevens, what he sees, but for me as well, as in throwing my game in there, and then how do I best fit everyone to be in the best position for us to win.
The Celtics were focused on making the NBA Finals. With young and hungry players and experienced veterans, they were built to win it all. In his debut against the Cavaliers, Irving had 22 points and 10 assists. He had a chance to tie the game with a three-pointer at the buzzer, but missed. However, from the very first quarter, it became evident that this wasn't the year for Boston, as Gordon Hayward suffered a horrific leg injury that took him out for the season.
That was hard to take, man, honestly. You know, I'm the one that threw the pass, so it was like, I threw the pass up in the air and Gordon goes up and get it. I knew it was just a terrible pass, and I had been holding on to that, and Gordon comes down wrong. It was just like, I felt like some of that had something to do with me. So after that in the game, I was just emotionally just messed up, man.
That fueled Kyrie even more, and he became the engine driving the Celtics forward.
Ooh, that's an Uncle Drew type of finish. Go up on one side, go to the other. Oh, Kyrie swerving, getting anywhere he wants on the floor. He wants to shoot and scores.
2019 is Irving. What a move by Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie to the basket.
Boston possessed a nearly perfect mix of young talent and battle-tested veterans, and Irving's elite shot creation and ball handling powered the Celtics to a 16-game winning streak.
Again, oohs and ahs from the crowd. Manages to get the ball back, putting on a show with the ball handling. Layup is good. Oh, what a play from Irving.
Kyrie recorded 18 separate 30-point games that season, and the Celtics finished the season as the second seed. However, it all came crashing down. Kyrie was ruled out for the entire postseason to get a surgery to remove screws from his knee that were inserted during the 2015 season. Without Irving, the young Celtics led by rookie Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart would reach the conference finals before losing to Kyrie's former team in 7 games.
You know, that moment in itself was frustrating, but it was a culmination of a lot of different things. I didn't play the last 20 games of the season, and then going into the playoffs, you know, our team just did an unbelievable job. And for them to take that, you know, that team to 7 games is an accomplishment in itself, but obviously, you know, there are other horizons that we need to achieve now. I mean, those guys are just awesome. I'm so proud of them.
Despite the loss, excitement around Boston kept growing. At the same time, Kyrie felt so confident about his future in Boston that he publicly announced his intentions to re-sign with the team before the season began.
If you guys will have me back, I plan on re-signing here next year.
So this is the first summer that I've actually had off since, I think, started my NBA career.
And are you at 100% right now?
I'm getting there, man.
With Kyrie Irving returning from injury and with LeBron James heading out west to join the Lakers, the expectation was that the Boston Celtics would be the team to beat in the East.
You know, you obviously have expectations to live up to individually, but as a team, it's a lot to figure out all in 1 year, you know, bringing a lot more talent.
Irving to the basket. Irving got it.
But overall, I just want to win, and I'm going to dedicate myself every single day. And if I got to bring everybody else up with me, then that's just what I have to do.
Kyrie was spectacular. He was the undisputed engine of the Celtics offense and earned all NBA second-team honors. However, Boston underperformed. The tension and frustration grew with every game.
Kyrie Irving, as the leader he wants to be, must figure it out, and this is not the way to do it.
Following an early season loss to the Knicks, a reporter wished Kyrie a happy Thanksgiving. Kyrie clapped back and said, "F*** Thanksgiving." It was later highlighted that Kyrie's perspective stems from his Native American heritage on his mother's side.
I went back to my tribe in South Dakota, reclaiming my identity, reclaiming my power, reclaiming my tribal relationships, my communal relationships, and I got my name, Ela.
However, his delivery of that message was far from perfect, and he later apologized on Twitter. Later, he publicly called out his teammates, saying the younger players on the roster didn't understand what it takes to win a championship.
Media has broken up locker rooms. Like, it's been done before, like where you say something and it's misinterpreted, and instead of addressing it with the person or individual, you read it on your phone. Like, you read it on a text. Somebody says that, hey, did you see what this person said about you, and it's your teammate? And you're like, wait, I didn't hear that. And then you hold back. You don't say anything to him, and then throughout the season, it ends up coming out again, and it's just like...
The Celtics season fell far short of expectations. They finished with a 49-33 record as the 4th seed, and Kyrie had begun to realize just how difficult it is to lead a team. A few days later, Kyrie admitted to the media that he actually called LeBron James, apologizing for his immature attitude while they played together in Cleveland, and seeking advice about his leadership struggles in Boston.
I had to call Bryant, you know, and tell him, like, you know, I apologize for being that young player that wanted to everything at his at his fingertips, and I wanted everything to be at, my threshold. I wanted to be the guy that led us to championship. I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be all that, and the responsibility of being the best player in the world and leading a team is something that's not meant for many people.
By doing so, Irving essentially admitted that coming to Boston had been a mistake from the start.
That was a step for me just to move forward in my life. It takes a very, very strong individual to, replay a lot of the experiences that you've had, a lot of anger that you had built up, that where you didn't address the situation and you allowed it to fester, and then it was just combustion. Then you realize, like, man, I didn't have to deal with that the same way I dealt with that. I didn't have to go about it that same way.
A few weeks later, when the media asked him about his upcoming free agency and his proclaimed intent to re-sign with the Celtics, Kyrie said that he would do what's best for him and his family.
At the end of the day, I'm going to do what I feel is best for my career, and I don't owe anybody.
And despite Kyrie playing to his usual standards, it was clear that the team chemistry was seriously derailed.
Kept his dribble alive. Tough shot. Uncle Drew with another one.
The postseason started with a dominant sweep of the Indiana Pacers. In the second round, they faced the top-seeded Milwaukee Bucks. In Game 1, Irving put up 26 points and a playoff career-high 11 assists in a dominant win.
He's not there all the way yet, but how about this guy?
He's there.
No. 10-point lead, Kyrie. Going all. Uncle Drew is in the building tonight.
But then, the Celtics would lose the next 4 games as Kyrie played the worst playoff series of his career.
Have you ever had a 3-game stretch like this in the playoffs, and how mentally challenging is it?
Yeah, who cares?
He then capped off this fiasco by saying that he should have taken 30 shots instead of 22 because he's that great of a shooter.
The expectations on me are going to be sky high. For me, the 22 shots, I should have shot 30.
In the deciding Game 5, Kyrie shot 6 out of 21 from the field in the game and was arguably the worst player on the floor. He finished the series shooting just 35% from the field and an abysmal 22% for 3.
Plenty of people here are speculating about your future, and certainly this summer. Did uncertainty over that weigh on you in any way in this series?
No.
After this series and all of the comments he made during the year, the Celtics were happy to see him go in free agency. In just 2 years, Irving managed to piss off and ruin the plans for 2 different franchises, and his next move was something that all NBA fans saw coming for months. During the 2019 All-Star Game, while still a member of the Celtics, Kyrie was seen talking extensively with Kevin Durant, leading many to believe the two were already discussing teaming up in free agency.
Is there a teammate, particularly maybe a new teammate, you're most looking forward to getting to know as a player and playing alongside?
Kevin Durant.
What many fans and analysts had suspected was confirmed on the opening day of free agency, when Kyrie officially signed with the Brooklyn Nets alongside Kevin Durant.
9 months ago, I was sitting in front of the Boston crowd saying that I wanted to re-sign. After that, a lot of things happened in my personal life that really changed the landscape of how I felt about the game of basketball and actually playing it in a team environment. And a lot of basketball and the joy I had from it was sucked away from me, and there was a facial expression that I carried around with me throughout the year. For me, I just wanted to come in with that mentality like, hey, I'm just going to be honest about who I am and what I'm doing going forward and my goals for myself, and then apply that into the environment here that we have in Brooklyn. So,
in his first game for the Nets, Kyrie scored 50 points, becoming the first player in NBA history to score 50 in a team debut.
Nets up the floor in a hurry. Irving attack mode for 2. Irving on a switch. He's got Grant. Irving. Oh no! Oh yes!
Although Kyrie missed the potential game winner, his performance convinced the fans that the Nets would contend for championships for years to come.
He's somebody that can control and take over a game.
Incredible.
With the ease of just about anybody who's ever played. So a lot of people want to talk about who he is, his mentality, but if you just watch him on the basketball court, you can't deny it makes you feel while you watch him play.
26 seconds to play. Nets are down by 1. Irving, step back 3. Oh! Kyrie Irving buries it for the lead.
Oh, man. Get that one out of the way. Thank you, brother.
A few days later, Irving scored 37 points against the Grizzlies.
Irving. Oh, what a move! Kyrie Irving!
Torched the Pelicans for 39 points, and followed that with 45 points in a win against the Pistons.
Off that first step, sometimes it's just going at it.
Oh! Can you Kyrie!
Despite his brilliance on the court, Kyrie's so-called mood swings were reportedly a concern for the Nets during his first months with the team. At one point in January, he even had to clarify comments about Brooklyn's roster that appeared to criticize some of the team's younger players.
It's transparent. It's just out there. You know, it's glaring in terms of the pieces that we need in order for us to be at that next level. And I'm going to continue to reiterate it. You know, we're going to do the best with the guys that we have within our locker room now. And, you know, we worry about all the other stuff in terms of moving pieces and everything else as an organization down the line in the summer.
And then came one of the darkest days in sports history.
Five-time NBA champion, former league MVP Kobe Bryant died earlier this afternoon in Los Angeles in a helicopter crash.
For Kyrie Irving, the loss was deeply personal. Kobe wasn't just his idol. He was a mentor, a big brother, and someone who shaped him both on and off the court.
It's hard, you know, it's hard, but I've been trying to do this the last few days, just trying to get ready for a moment like this, but I just gotta let it be, let it flow, and you know, I know he's down watching as well as Gigi.
Bryant's tragic death left Irving devastated, but he honored his legacy in the best way he knew how, by playing incredible basketball.
Irving lines it up. Oh, he can't miss! Plus the foul!
Against the Chicago Bulls, Kyrie delivered one of the best performances of his career, scoring ultra-efficient 54 points while shooting 19 of 23 from the field.
Irving at the horn! Oh, Kyrie! He is not human! He has 54 points.
I hit a few shots in the first half, so I had to keep it going, and Kobe mentality and Mamba mentality will keep me, hey, keep going, so felt good.
Despite averaging a career-high 27.4 points per game, a shoulder injury forced Kyrie to miss all but 20 games of the season. Before the 2021 season, Steve Nash became the new head coach, which was a debatable move considering his lack of coaching experience. Both Kyrie and KD got healthy, and they got together on a podcast, where Irving made headlines once again. I don't really see us having a head coach. KD could be a head coach. I could be a head coach some days.
We don't really need a coach. Tell me a player in the history of sports that never needed coaching. That might be one of the most ignorant things I've ever heard a player say.
When the 2021 season finally started, Brooklyn began with an underwhelming 7-6 record, mainly due to Irving and Durant missing a combined 10 games. To turn things around, Brooklyn made another big move. The Nets traded for James Harden, and the trio of KD, Harden, and Irving promised to be the most unstoppable offense ever assembled.
Oh, the English! He put it high off the window! Here's Irving. The fadeaway. Kyrie Irving. I am. Okay! Rising up, full elevation, Kyrie Irving.
Individually, the 2021 season was historic for Kyrie Irving. He became just the 9th player in NBA history to join the 50-40-90 club while averaging at least 25 points per game. The Nets finished second in the East, and in the first round of the playoffs, they faced the Boston Celtics. The Big Three averaged 85 points per game, the most points by a trio in any playoff series in NBA history. They cruised past the Celtics in 5 games, averaging an incredible 124 points throughout the series. To further emphasize Brooklyn's dominance, Irving stomped on the Celtics logo, a gesture that did not sit well with Boston fans. But then, against the Bucks in the second round, Brooklyn had tons of bad luck. After 43 seconds of the first game, Harden pulled his hamstring, which forced him to miss 4 games, and when he returned, he was visibly limited.
Now Kyrie Irving. Step back three-pointer. Irving drills it as a shot blocking spot.
But even without James, Kyrie and KD were still capable of winning on their own, as the Nets led the series 2-1 after 3 games.
There's Kyrie again, this time on the move, hits the 3.
And then, in Game 4, Kyrie landed directly on Giannis Antetokounmpo's foot, suffering one of the nastiest ankle sprains imaginable. He was later ruled out for the rest of the series. Kevin Durant almost single-handedly dragged the Nets into the conference finals, but his heroic efforts wouldn't be enough, and Brooklyn's championship hopes collapsed in Game 7. Still, despite the loss, everybody believed the Nets super team would win the title in the upcoming years if they managed to stay healthy. Before the 2021 and 22 season started, in the NBA's traditional survey, over 70% of general managers said that Brooklyn would win the title. But then, the drama started. Kyrie Irving's stance on the pandemic and the mandatory vaccine meant he couldn't play in all home games because of New York City's vaccine mandate. This led to the Nets GM Sean Marks removing Kyrie from all team games and practices, resulting in Kyrie missing the first 2 months of the season.
I was not expecting a mandate to be brought down in a way that it wasn't going to allow me to play at all. Like, I had the opportunity to play away games still, but there was no plan in place. There was no vision of like how it's going to work for our team, and I think that really impacted not just me, but a lot of people. So
there was speculation that Irving was originally selected for the NBA 75th anniversary team, but was later left off the final list because of the vaccine mandate controversy.
I just really empathized, and I understood their choice to say if you're not going to be vaccinated, fully vaccinated, then you can't be a full participant. And I knew the consequences. I wasn't prepared for them by no stretch of imagination.
And absolutely, I feel like I deserve to be on that top 75 list. And anybody that you put in front of me on that historical list, if we go against each other, I'm getting the best out of them and they're getting the best out of me. And that's what the game truly is about. It's bringing the best out of your competitor, your competition.
However, in late December, despite remaining unvaccinated, the Nets announced that Irving would return to the team and play in away games, in a decision largely influenced by the various injuries to Brooklyn's roster.
Irving, high screen Allen. Right down the middle for Kyrie Irving.
And in January, the Nets super team trio of Durant, Harden, and Irving finally all suited up in an NBA game again, reminding the world how dominant their offense could be with all three superstars. The Nets demolished the Bulls, and for a moment, their hopes of winning a title looked great again. But it would be the last game they ever played in the same uniform. Kyrie had to miss the next 2 games because the Nets played at home, after which KD got injured and was ruled out for 6 weeks. James Harden was getting fed up with Kyrie and the uncertainty he brought to the team.
Kyrie believes in his beliefs, and he stands firm and strong on that. And for us, we respect it. We all love Kai, but as far as us, we have a job to do.
Harden lost trust in the franchise and their ability to hold everybody accountable, so he publicly asked for a trade. In February, New York lifted the vaccine mandate for municipal workers, meaning that Kyrie would be able to finally play in all games starting in late March. However, the damage to the team chemistry was irreversible, and the Nets were forced to trade Harden to Philadelphia.
If you allow that to infiltrate or get you emotionally invested or respond emotionally, you're going to be right where they want you to be. So, I kind of expect that at this point, for everybody to say things like that, and I'm going to keep on smiling and doing me.
Through it all, Kyrie remained focused and played incredible basketball.
Irving finds room, three-pointer is good! Kyrie Irving!
In the 29 games he played that season, he averaged 27.4 points per game. In March, he scored a career-high 60 points, shooting 20 of 31 in a dominant win against the Orlando Magic.
Kyrie Irving back in the ball game, and he's still hot. The handoff, quick trigger, Irving, 60!
After all the drama, the Nets still managed to make the playoffs as the 7th seed, setting up a first-round matchup against the Boston Celtics. In Game 1, Kyrie led a miraculous comeback that gave the Nets the lead in the final seconds.
Irving looking, 7 to shoot. Irving step back 3, puts it in! Kyrie Irving with the long three-pointer!
Irving scored 39 points, including 6 threes and 6 assists. He added fuel to the fire of hate he was already getting in Boston when he flipped off a fan, which later earned him a $50,000 fine from the NBA.
Well, we've never seen that from you this season, where you are running down the floor flicking people off.
It's the first time you actually caught it because it's a big-time game. I respond in different ways. So if somebody's going to call me out of my name, I'm going to look at them straight in the eye and see if they really about it. Most of the time, they're not.
However, on the last play of the game, Tatum was left all alone under the basket for a buzzer-beating layup, and the Celtics won Game 1. In the rest of the series, the Nets came close, but they could never take the lead, and Brooklyn got swept.
This was a season that had so much promise. One of the preseason favorites to start the year, the Brooklyn Nets, and it all fell apart at multiple iterations during the season.
With the disastrous season coming to an end, an offseason full of questions awaited.
And if you're questioning your purpose of life after a basketball game, or after someone talks, or after somebody says something that's like, oh, it like pinched a nerve, like those are the points where I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that.
I'm not questioning my purpose on this earth because I done lost the series to the Boston Celtics. Like, come on, bro.
There was speculation that Irving would decline his player option and pursue a sign-and-trade deal with another team. Instead, against all odds, both Kyrie and KD started the 2023 season for the Nets. In November, Kyrie tweeted a link to an anti-Semitic documentary, and while the league and the Nets gave him a chance to apologize, he failed to do so initially.
Seems like Adam Silver wanted to hear the word "I apologize," or in your mind, you said, "I didn't mean to cause any harm."
I didn't mean to cause any harm. I'm not the one that made the documentary.
It's on Amazon, a public platform. Whether you want to go watch it or not is up to you. There's things being posted every day. I am no different than the next human being, so don't treat me any different.
A controversial social media post led to an 8-game suspension from the Nets, while Nike ended its relationship with Irving and discontinued his signature shoe line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did I do anything illegal? Did I hurt anybody? Did I harm anybody? Am I going out and saying that I hate one specific group of people?
Despite all the off-court drama, Irving's individual dominance on the court never stopped. In December, Irving scored 32 points and put up a game-winning three-pointer in a victory over the Toronto Raptors.
Gets it into Irving. 2 seconds left. Irving stops, takes, and hits! Kyrie Irving delivers the victory!
Next game, he scored 38 points in a win over the Detroit Pistons. A couple games later, Kyrie exploded for a season-high 48 points against Utah Jazz.
Big possession here. Irving again! Kyrie in his own dimension!
It was the third straight year when he averaged over 27 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. However, Kyrie was in the last year of his contract, and even though he was still a top NBA talent on the court, he presented a huge risk for any team brave enough to sign him. The Nets refused to give Irving the long-term extension he desired, and Kyrie asked for a trade before the deadline. Just like that, the third super team that Kyrie was on collapsed in record time. And because the Nets didn't want to lose him for nothing in the summer, Brooklyn made a logical move and decided to cash in on his talent while they still could, sending Kyrie to the Dallas Mavericks.
You know, just sitting in the seat today, I just know I want to be places where I'm celebrated and not just tolerated or you know, kind of dealt with in a way that doesn't make me feel respected. Ultimately, I want to be at peace every time I come into work, rather than things hanging over my head or wondering what people think about me in the building, or whether or not a report's gonna come out tomorrow that I don't talk to my teammates, which is untrue. And then, you know, I just felt like being in New York City and the media capital of the world, there was so many things that leaked out that I didn't even know where they came from. And I'm answering things that I don't deserve, and ultimately I don't pay attention to that much. So I'm just grateful that I got to move on and I'm here.
The whole world believed that Dallas made a big mistake in trading for Irving and giving him a 3-year, $126 million extension. But Kyrie Irving's debut against the Los Angeles Clippers was a reminder that his talent should never be questioned.
Sixth in the West, that is, obviously, as Irving drives inside. Shot is good. Oh, spectacular move there from Kyrie Irving.
I had natural nerves out here, so I was just trying to play well. But it feels good just to get acclimated. Been a long 96 hours, to say the least, but I'm just grateful I got to play the game that I love with some guys that were selfless out there, and it just feels good.
However, Kyrie and Luka were two heavy isolation players trying to share one ball in a system that lacked any defensive identity. Clutch games that Dallas used to win suddenly slipped away, and they ultimately failed to make the postseason in 2023.
I mean, really, people don't understand how hard you have to work and how many hours you have to put in the gym to be at this level. And when you get to this level, the work never stops. It just begins.
But the work is everything, and the energy you pour into yourself and your work ethic, it'll reward you 10 times, tenfold. I genuinely believe that it may not be the next day, but if you put in consistent days, then the work will show for itself.
But then, in the 2024 season, everything changed.
I wouldn't say it's just motivation for my 13th year. It's more or less a passion to be successful and to be great this year.
Irving remained healthy for the majority of the year, and he was one of just 11 NBA players who averaged 25, 5, and 5 for the season, all while maintaining incredibly high shooting percentages.
Baseline turns, fires it up. Oh my gosh.
Kyrie was just 0.3% shy of a 50-40-90 season, shooting 49.7% from the field, 41% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line.
Down 15 to in front by 14, and darting into paint. Spectacular!
Irving had a bunch of great games, including a 44-point night against the Knicks and a 48-point performance in an overtime win against the Rockets.
How I feel as a person when I go out there is a confident MFer that will play with the best of the world. I don't care who's out there.
You know, all I care about is winning. That's what I've cared about since I've come into this league.
Against his former team, Kyrie shocked everybody with a massive alley-oop dunk.
Kyrie Irving!
His crazy left-handed game winner against the Nuggets was the biggest highlight of Dallas's season.
Irving for the win! Oh my! A southpaw finish from Kyrie Irving!
He will literally go exclusively to his left hand. I've never seen nothing like that. One thing I'm thinking, the shot that he made versus Denver towards the end of the regular season on Joker is one of the most ridiculous shots I've ever seen in my life.
But even more importantly, Kyrie wasn't a PR nightmare anymore. He said all the right things in the media. He became a leader on and off the court, and it was clear that he established great chemistry with all his teammates and coaches.
Great man, he's a really great guy. You know, obviously basketball player, the way he is. But it's just been amazing, you know, he helps everybody in the team, and everybody loves him on the team, so he's just a great guy.
The Mavericks finished as the 5th seed in the West, locking in a playoff matchup against the Clippers. Kyrie and Luka proved to be too much for them.
What an outlet pass, and Irving lays it in! Oh, what a pass!
Kyrie finished the series with a 30-point performance in Game 6, including some unreal clutch plays.
Irving dancing, prancing, pulls up, three-pointer, bang! And a foul!
The Mavs then took down the young and inexperienced Oklahoma City Thunder in 6 games, despite OKC finishing as the top seed in the West. Then, in the conference finals, Dallas faced the Minnesota Timberwolves led by Anthony Edwards. Kyrie was unstoppable, completely dismantling Minnesota.
With 5 on the shot clock, time to get busy. And he does it as only Kyrie can.
And in Game 5, Kyrie's 36-point masterpiece sealed a blowout win and sent the Mavericks back to the NBA Finals.
You know, we practiced so hard. We've done the little things all year, and to be rewarded like this feels great. We don't take it for granted. You know, we faced a lot of adversity this year. I feel like we put one foot in front of the other, a day at a time, and we accomplished part of our goal, you know, and it feels great.
Before facing his former team, Kyrie reflected on his complicated history with the Celtics and acknowledged the mistakes he had made while reacting emotionally to the crowd and media pressure.
But now that I'm a little older, you know, hindsight looking back on it, I definitely would have taken the time to get to know people within the community, talk to some of the champions that have come before me, actually extend myself to them instead of the other way around, expecting them to be there for me and give me advice.
Outside of a 35-point explosion in Game 3,
Irving sidestep three-pointer, got it!
Irving struggled throughout the finals, averaging just 16 points per game across the other 4 games.
Irving. Oh, nice move inside, backs it home.
Even though Dallas came up short against a loaded Celtics squad, this was still Kyrie's redemption season. After a turbulent 6-year stretch where he burned bridges with 3 different franchises, Kai was finally back to doing what he does best, being a basketball wizard.
Well, reflecting on the season was probably the most difficult task because I felt like we had a great year. We just didn't accomplish our ultimate goal, which is to win a championship. So you're trying to celebrate. I'm trying to celebrate all the small wins. I'm trying to text as many of my teammates, as much as the staff, but also give them their space to be able to decompress, disconnect, and then be able to do their own reflecting. So,
entering the following season fresh off of an NBA Finals appearance, the Mavericks added Klay Thompson to improve their championship core.
You know, there weren't a lot of people that believed that we could be in the finals start of last year, which rightfully so. We hadn't proven anything, and it's still the same attitude this season. We haven't proven anything until we play, but we know where we pretty much stack up in terms of the best teams in the world, and we want to be right there at between 1 and nothing else.
However, the season quickly spiraled into one of the most chaotic in franchise history due to unprecedented roster turnover and injuries. In February, Dallas made a move that stunned the basketball world. They traded their franchise superstar Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis.
This is a weird case in NBA history to be a part of, but at the same time, it's the nature of our business, and it is a ruthless business. So you just got to be ready to pick up the pieces and, you know, still run towards the championship. That's the ultimate goal on why I play. But, you know, at the same time, we still have to acknowledge that, you know, our little Slovenian president is no longer here, and we got to adjust.
However, AD suffered a severe groin injury in his debut and missed the next 18 games. With Luka gone and Davis sidelined, Kyrie Irving stepped into the undisputed primary leadership role, carrying the franchise on his back.
Doubt in his mind coming off that handoff, he's going to pull another one. The trifecta.
Kyrie Irving taking over the game here in the third. Ooh. Stare down three, rattles it home.
He put up stellar, borderline 50-40-90 splits, averaging 24.7 points, 4.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and 1.3 steals per game.
You're so tough. You have so much handle.
Thank you, bro.
Skill. You have so much handle. You're so efficient. I don't have a question. You're just so tough, bro.
Appreciate it.
He was named an NBA All-Star and led Dallas in total points, assists, and steals.
Johnson on the floor. Steal Kyrie. And Kyrie yearns in the lane.
Irving with pace. Got trim. Got the layup. And one.
Ties his season high. Now you got to move for Kyrie.
But the heavy burden took its toll. In a game against the Sacramento Kings, Kyrie suffered a season-ending torn ACL.
Got Kyrie down here. That is obviously a major concern, what's going on right now.
He stayed on the court to sink 2 free throws with tears in his eyes before exiting the court.
The crowd recognizes what's happening here. That gives you chills. It does.
Kyrie underwent surgery in late March with a target return for the following year. The entire 2026 season had been about bridging the gap during Kyrie Irving's rehab and building around the rookie phenom Cooper Flagg. Still, through it all, it was obvious Irving had finally found a home.
You just eliminate all external distractions, that's what's going on, and just focus on the process itself and enjoying it every single day. Chopping wood, carrying water. Greatness is not meant for a few chosen people. It's meant for those who persistently pursue their dreams every day and make that choice when they wake up.
Since entering the league, Kyrie Irving has redefined what a point guard can be. Over a 14-year career, he's built a resume that includes an NBA championship, an All-Star MVP, and a place among the greatest to ever touch a basketball.
When you look at me, I don't ever want you to feel like this is unreachable or unattainable. The goals of making something that you planned out when you were a kid and then being able to work as hard to make something greater happen.
Anything that's worth having, you're gonna have to work for it. So that power of manifestation came from that understanding and also being real with myself, with my expectations, and knowing, if I want to achieve something, then I'm going to have to do the things that normal people aren't willing to do.
But Kyrie's legacy goes beyond rings and statistics. It's about the handle that leaves defenders frozen. It's about the fearlessness to take some of the biggest shots in history. If he retired today, he'd be a Hall of Famer not just for the points, but for the artistry he brought to the game.
He always talks about he's basketball players are artists. He's an artist out on the court. And I got to be honest, it's not invalid. I'm sometimes like, yeah, this guy's an artist.
And while nobody knows what the future holds for him, one thing is clear. Behind the controversy and public scrutiny, Kyrie has always been a magician with the ball.
Life sometimes can get a little chaotic. You got a lot of questions on what's going on around you. That's when you have to really root yourself and get in to know the true nature of who you are, that you are able to do all things. It's in you. Don't let anybody tell you that the greatness of who you want to become is not in you already. You just gotta awaken that beast. You gotta awaken that person inside of you. You gotta awaken that love inside you. You gotta love on yourself. Because the world out here can be cruel. And don't let these haters and doubters get in the way of you achieving what you really want to achieve. To all the kids out there, I salute you. Listen to your parents as much as you can. Go way beyond their dreams and accomplish your own. You never know where you'll end up.